You spend hours at the beginning of a project getting your timber smooth, plain, square, only for it all to go Pete Tong and turn into a pickled puffalump poo at glue up time. Well, I've got a solution. I know there are 1,000,001 glue up solutions out there, clamp it racks out there, but every one I've seen takes up an inordinate amount of space. You either need a dedicated glue up table, or you've got this huge clamping rack that takes up far too much room. And I can't afford either one of those. So I want something that's easy to set up, easy to take down, stores away on the wall in as limited amount of space as possible, but still gives me the ability to clamp a panel or a board or a block up nice and flat. I got this old piece of MDF that's got clamp rack written all over it. It's not quite big enough, but I'm going to use it anyway. So I'll start by squaring up the two ends, then I'm going to cut it in half, and then I'm going to cut it into 420mm strips. I'm going to set these two boards aside for a minute, don't need them quite yet. On these two boards you can see I've drawn two pencil lines. The first one's irrelevant and in completely the wrong place, so we'll ignore that, move on to the second one. The second line is at 10mm down from the top because I'm going to drill a series of holes along here with a 25mm Forstner bit. All will be revealed shortly, and I'm going to drill each hole at 40mm centres. So I've got my fence set so that I can guarantee each one of these holes is going to be at exactly the same distance from the bottom of the board, and I can just move along to each line, drill my hole, 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 and then I can do exactly the same on the other piece. So I'll see you in 28 holes time. Watching paint dry doesn't sound like such a bad option now after doing that. However, I'm not quite out of the woods yet. I mentioned I used a 25mm drill bit and I really wanted a 27.2mm drill bit, but I kind of don't have one and I've never seen one for that matter. But I do have a solution to enable me to enlarge these slightly without altering the depth, which would ruin the whole thing. And this is my solution. Now I didn't go with this straight off because trying to sand out all of those holes with this would have gunged up the sandpaper and I'd have gone through roll after roll after roll of it. So this has actually made it far quicker. So I'm going to do the first one without a fence in place so that I bottom the spindle out on the bottom of the drill hole that I've made. Then I can stop it, set a fence in place, clamp the fence down, and then do all of the rest of them to exactly the same depth. Now I've got these two pieces looking like the battlements from a fairy tale castle, I can think about mounting them to the baseboards that I cut earlier. I remember I wanted them to store flat, so I'm going to use a piece of dowel to locate them. And I've struck a line on one of them somewhere here. I've struck a line in the middle here, and I'm also going to come in 100mm from each end. And then I'm going to drill a 9mm hole for this piece of dowel I was brandishing at the beginning of the video. And on these two pieces, I've got a line to denote centerboard, and I'm going to drill the same on these two, 100mm in. So I've got my fence set up again so that I can guarantee I get the holes in the right place on both boards. Incidentally, there's a fantastic video about making this fence and drill press table. So that's the holes drilled for the dowels in the baseboards and in the upstands so that I can join them together. And I've also drilled an extra hole in each piece so that I can hang it on the French cleat when I'm not using it. The next thing I want to do is put a round on the corners on the baseboard to get rid of that nasty sharp edge. And then I'm also going to put a little round on these castellated bits on the upstand. So that's everything cut, and I'm good to assemble. So I've already popped the little dowel into the French cleat that'll act as the holder on the wall. On these little pieces, I've put a little bit of a bevel on the front because they're the bits that'll go in and out of the baseboard, and they'll sit permanently in the upstand bits. I won't knock them all the way in. Just in case I have an alignment issue. That one's good. While I can still get my fingers underneath, I'll make sure they'll come out. Okay, so let's knock them in all the way. Looking good, all seated nicely. Pop apart, okay. So now to demonstrate how they work. So here I am wandering around the workshop having a gay old time when suddenly I realise I've got a glue up to do. Not a problem, thinks I. I have a glue up jiggy clampy thing on the wall. I'll just get it out. My, this is easy, think so. Pop it together. In true Blue Peter fashion. Make sure they're both pressed down. And I can take a couple of 3/4 inch pipe clamp rails, drop my blocks on, my board, whatever it is I'm gluing up, grab a clamp, and it's flat. What a joy. I may even look forward to glue ups. And if that's not enough, no, there can't be more, I hear you say. Yes, there's more. Because these castellations fit the 3/4 pipe clamp rails, I could take the rails themselves, drop them straight in, and use them instead of the other rails, should I wish. So the possibilities are endless. And again, a lovely flat glue up. What an addition to any woodworker's workshop. And available for $9.99 at all good hardware stores. Hope you enjoyed the vid. Thanks very much for watching and see you next time. Ta-ra. Supposed to ask for subscribers. Keep forgetting that.